YouTube, good morning. Welcome back to another live session. So it's 9:20. It's a little bit on the later side, right? So I'm gonna jump straight into the watch list. I hope everybody did all right yesterday, and today, of course, looking forward to the momentum, right? Hopefully you guys are ready to go. So as you're tuning in on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Steve, Arnell, what's up, guys? What's going on? Good morning. Today, rocking some Relentless Trader merch, man. Coming soon, right? Coming soon. Um, this is version 1. Version 2 is on the way. We'll see how it looks, and then from there, no pre-market trades today, right? No pre-market trades. I'll post the watch list here, and then we'll jump right into it. Let me copy it from the Discord. Here we go. So let's go through in alphabetical order. BVXV. I'll start with this one. BVXV is up 31%, and did break over the 200 EMA not so long ago, but is pulling back. So we'll need to get back above the 200 moving average, right? So the 200 EMA seems to be around 375. Right now we're at 306, and so this thing was up a good amount before this drop off here, so it'll need to retake some of these key levels. Let me see. Pre-market chart. Let's take a look at Thinkorswim. So we had this nice move up to 5, and then it's been pulling back. So it needs to get back above VWAP and then back above the 200 EMA for me to really get interested. So around 350, 375 is where I would start looking for opportunities on BVXV. I was red on this one last week, so I would love to get the chance, coming back green. So we'll see how this one does. It's up 31%, 8 million shares of volume. We know it's a light float, right? 14 million shares outstanding. So moving on, GRTX. This one's not on the watch list that I posted there, but I'm keeping an eye on once again for volume. But today it doesn't seem like we'll get any volume. It all depends. Maybe there's breaking news, maybe there's not. So it's kind of on my back burners, but I am keeping an eye on that one. ISIG. SPRB, KNDI. I might be missing one of these two. SPRB is the one that I'm missing. There we go. So ISIG, we just started to have a pretty big move here around 9/11. Will calling out there, right? Will, what's going on, man? From the Discord, calling out that we got traders pumping some of these stocks today, right? Some of these low float stocks. So maybe we get something to pop up and give a halt. Maybe it's a crazy move. We'll see how it goes. But ISIG seems to be one of those stocks. It's curling up here from a low of 12 all the way to 17. But volume, though, isn't that high, right? We're up 45% with about 1 million shares. No news. So we'll see how it does with the daily chart, right? Not looking super strong right now. But can we continue to curl? Maybe get back to this pivot here of, let's say, $17.95. And then, of course, can we see $23. This pivot right here, 23, looks pretty interesting if we can get up there, but we'll see if it plays out that way. So that's ISIG. Can we get up there to 23.93? Right. So we'll see how this one plays out. ISIG. I'll move this daily chart back over. So this one is a maybe, but it just needs to continue into the open, right? So next stock. KNDI. KNDI is up 14%, 3 million shares of volume. There is news, right? There is news. It's curling from the lows. We've seen a couple of charts like this below the 200 EMA. Can we get back to the pre-market highs at 405? We're currently at 382, right? And then, of course, we want to make our way up here. Can we get to 470 if possible? The 200 EMA is hanging out around $5. Over 5, possible room to 520. We'll see if it's able to get up to those levels. But there's definitely some gap to fill up to 470 if this one really starts to move. Maybe it's good for some trades off the lows. I'll definitely be paying attention for that as well today. For those of you tuning in on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. The Trader, I see you guys there in the Discord. Hope everybody's doing all right. Terry, what's up? North. Aaron, Max, what's going on, guys? Good luck today. I'll take it, man. I'll take it. I'll take it. So 4 minutes and 23 seconds to go. RELI. This is one of the bigger ones here today. I know a few of you probably been trading this already. It's up 34%. And it's not looking too bad with volume, right? Up about 12 million shares of volume so far, and has given a good 5-minute setup. Today, I had my alarm set for 7 a.m. Woke up at 7 a.m. Kind of closed my eyes for what felt like 1 minute. I looked back at 7:47. It's like, not good. I went to sleep early too. But I guess my body's just so used to waking up at 8 a.m. That, you know. So, yeah. Tomorrow I got to do a better job. Maybe I could have caught something on this one. The charting looks okay. So RELI, you know, can we get more continuation and follow through into the open? Daily chart looks very interesting. We'll need to break over the high of this previous candle here for the 21st. Can we get over 825? If we do, we start to mean business. We want to fill some gap up there to 1095. So if RELI is able to move, we look pretty good for gap fill to 11. So we'll see how it goes. This one is definitely going to be one of my main watch right into the open. So I'll be watching this one here. SPRB, last but not least. SPRB. A 2-minute warning is going to go off in a little bit. So SPRB, we had a couple of big moves, but back down. So the charting isn't looking too good. It's only up 10%. The daily range, though, is a little interesting, but we want to see more volume and a bit of a higher hold, right? We don't want to move up and then pull back. We got to move higher, hold those higher levels, and then continue pushing. So SPRB, this one will be on the back burners of the watch list. Maybe we see something off the lows, but I think this one will kind of be on the back side of the watch list. But it's there just in case, because sometimes we just never know which stock it'll be. We've seen that over the years, that sometimes it's the stock that you least expect. I mean, even yesterday, AVCT was the one out of BFRI and a few of the others. So, you know, we'll see. But this one, 2 million shares of volume, 23 million shares outstanding. There is news, so we'll see how it goes into the open. So to transition quickly, as a 2-minute warning is going to go off into the game plan. You know, it's another beautiful day. Coming in here, looking forward to trading smart, to trading setups, looking forward to having a good disciplined day. Yesterday wasn't a bad day. We did have that red trade, unfortunately, but it was a good day. We were able to recover on MBOT towards the end of the session. These next couple of weeks, I'm gonna try my best not to leave. Like some days I'll have no choice. Like Thursday of this week, I'll have no choice, but I want to stay till the close as best as possible, because if anything comes up throughout the rest of the afternoon and I'm here and it gives good momentum, chances are that I end green on the stock. So I prefer to be here than to let the opportunities go by. So with 1 minute to go, you know, once again, looking forward to trading smart, trading setups, looking forward to managing risk. That never changes no matter what. We always have to manage risk. So let's try and be the best managers that we can be over our mental state of mind, our discipline, our account, because we know the risks, right? We know the risks, so let's try and be intact mentally. Let's be clear-headed, and let's move forward, right? So with 42 seconds to go for breakouts or bailout trades, you guys know I'll be looking to be in and out, looking for those moves, trades off the lows. I'm looking forward to today. Can we see some nice reference points, triple bottoms, trend lines, moving averages, whatever it might be, VWAP, looking for those good trades off the lows to ride the momentum back to the upside. So switching over to RELI, pulling up the level 2 in a couple seconds here to the open, and looking to go. As usual, I have a bottle of water here too. So 10 seconds. Once again, let's trade smart. Let's trade setups. And here we go. Jody, what's up? Evan B, Joseph, I see you guys. I see you guys. Here we go. For those of you on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up button early, right? Hit that thumbs up button early. Another beautiful day. Let's see if RELI holds the VWAP here. VWAP around $7, but it's going to pull back to a low of 83 so far. RELI. I'm fresh. Good morning from New York City. What's up? I'm right across the Hudson, man. Right across the Hudson. So RELI, not bad. Bit of a sideways start. We got a high of 718. BVXV, a little bit of a red candle. GRTX, well, light volume. ISIG, big move. Big spike into a halt. 1778. Very, very interesting. RELI. Can we get over that level of 718? The low of the current candle is 98. So ISIG should be pretty interesting. First 1 minute candle to make the new high over 714. Could be worth looking at here for RELI. We'll see if it holds up though. So far it seems a little choppy. Yeah, 92 on the bids. Low of the last was 83. Yeah, it doesn't look good for that setup. I think it's a little too choppy. BVXV, not much. KNDI, not much. SPRB, we'll see what happens. So ISIG, I think there's going to be a lot riding on this one. Can we open higher, go higher? I feel like it needs to do it. It needs to do that. High of day, RELI. 752 is the pivot. So over 14 is going to give a high of 35. Not bad. Right? Not bad, but still feels a little choppy. Can we start to hold above 708, 710 and get a continued push to the upside? Buyers coming in at 15. Lots of buyers sitting there at 15. Let's see. VWAP at 702. I do feel a little, I don't know, what's the word? I gotta choose my words wisely here. So high to current candle is 721. AVCT, by the way, hitting 250. ISIG resumption time, before I forget, will be 35 and 43 seconds. I don't know if the market is going to be hot today, so I don't know if I want to be aggressive on the resumption, you know? It has been a little cool yesterday is what I would say. It was not good for longs yesterday, so... But what I do know is that I need to be ready if that one is going to be strong, right? Because I can't afford to miss a good stock again. Not like that, right? So, we'll see. RELI will get something back over 721. For now, I'm just leaving this one alone. Maybe I'll trade a 5-minute setup instead, because I feel like it's a little tricky. RELI. So I'll switch over to ISIG and get ready for the resumption. I think I reduced my share size to 300 shares initially, just because once again, if the market sentiment is hot, I don't mind being aggressive at all, because we'll see follow through more than likely. But I don't know what to expect here, so I'll reduce my size to reduce my risk, and I'll look to see if we see the setup. Can we open up higher, get a squeeze, dip down, and then from there, I'll look to take the trade. But if not, I'll leave it alone, especially if it opens up lower or something. So 35 and 43 seconds. ISIG. So watching, hands on the buy button. Pre-market highs, we got 17.78. Can we get a higher resumption? 10 seconds to go. Watching. Good. Good resumption. Can we get a dip? Can we get a dip? Can we get a dip? It's not giving a dip. Well, so I'll wait. I'll bring my size up a little bit. I think 600 shares should be good. There's a pretty big spread though, so I gotta watch out for that. ISIG looking pretty bullish here. Will it continue to hold the higher levels? I'll watch and wait for a pullback, right? It's a little too extended. Don't want to be too aggressive buying the highs. It is holding 20. Will it continue to hold? There's 40, 50, 68 for a high, but the spreads are back. Our spreads are opening up. We're back down a bit. I do hope it gives a good pullback. The halt resumption not as clean. I would have had to take a high entry. Wouldn't want to get big slippage, you know. But yeah, so I'll wait. VWAP, we got a low of what's that? 1858. 1858 for VWAP. So watching and waiting. As long as this 5-minute candle can end green and looks good. 2028. I would prefer to see 2 red candles right here if possible. Can we get a lower high and then the first 1-minute candle open up for the retest of high of day? Once again, for those of you on YouTube, consider hitting the thumbs up button and of course subscribe if you are a new viewer. 2028, but we're not gonna get that second red candle, it seems. There's a spread here. 2068 is high of day. I'm watching to see if volume does come in around this area. We have been seeing these pull back to like the 9 moving average. I saw it yesterday, but you know, we'll see. All right. In which case, maybe the next push happens in like 2 minutes as the 9 continues to get a little higher. But we'll see. There's a new candle. A bit of a false break. Almost double topping. So we're consolidating pretty high. We had a nice halt resumption. The only bad thing is that I'm not green already on the stock. So I think at this point I watch for a 5-minute pullback. And 1760, I believe, the level to watch. So will we see a 5-minute pullback? I'm thinking if I take 1,000 shares and I give myself like a 30-cent stop, I'd be risking $300. I'd be risking $300 to potentially make, or let's say 400, to potentially make, let's say 8. If I sell half up like 30 cents and then hold 500 shares back to the highs. Well, we'll see if it plays out that way. Or maybe I take 800 shares. We're holding the VWAP. Well, yeah, we're holding the VWAP. And the 9, of course, coming up. So how will we do over 68? Will we get a breakout here? Or are we going to see a 5-minute pullback? And there's 30. 47, 60. But big spreads up here. We got to start to hold 50 on the bids for this to look good. All right. Can we hold 50 right here? On the dip, there's 30. And there's definitely a bit of a spread to it. If I get caught in a bad trade, I'll take a big loss. So I got to be careful. There's a pretty good size spread to this one, more than usual, I would say, for a stock like at $20. The new 5-minute candle is 3 minutes away. Can we get a doji right here and then a pullback on the next 5-minute candle? Let me see. How's the volume looking? How is the volume looking? Volume not looking bad. So we'll see if we get that 5-minute pullback. 1780 wouldn't be bad either. I think anywhere in between 80 and 60 is a good entry if we pull back on the lows. So waiting patiently. BTCY halted. It's getting called out here in the live stream. Is this going to break down? Will we see something here? I don't like when the stock is this much, like this high up, and I didn't get a trade already, but you know, it's fine. Sometimes it just doesn't play out in the way you want to. So you got to be patient. You got to wait. The first 3-minute candle to make the new high could try, which would be at 2036 at 9:45 in 2 minutes. But we'll see. It's 44. We got about a minute. Volume is really light. So watching 2036 if volume is high right here. Okay, will we see a push? I'll sell up at 60 for a couple cents just to put myself on the board here. So I'll be in at 42 out at 64. If it starts to hold 50 on the bids, I'll be long again for a push through 21. But we'll see. If it's going to pull back on the 5, I think this is a good candle to pull back. All right. Hold on, guys. My nose is getting a little stuffy. Give me 20 seconds. I'm telling you guys, man. These oranges. If you've been watching the stream for a while, these oranges, man, it's like they don't work for my nose. It keeps getting stuffy. The tangerines, the lemons, the limes. I want to see a 5-minute pullback. Will we get one, and can we pull back to 1780? 1780 is pretty good for an entry for me. If I'm in at 1780, I think my stop is at 1745. 45? How many cents is that? 30 cents? Yeah, about 30 cents. I think I take 800 shares on this trade. I need to start, like, if I lose 30 cents with 800 shares, it's not a problem, especially since I've made that $133 there. 0.3, so that's 240 bucks. Not bad. To hold 400 shares to try and get back to high of day, I'd be up about $1.50 a share, 400 shares. The risk to reward ratio makes a lot of sense. So will we get a good pullback is the question. $619 ISIG's end of year pump for employees. 1760, 1824, 1780. I'm hoping 1780 is the level. So we got to pull back another dollar share with light volume. Will we get more pullback? Waiting patiently. If it does a red to green right here, right now, the entry I would look for is 2036 again, which would be the first 5-minute candle to make a new high, but I prefer to get the trade off the lows right here. I prefer to get the trade off the lows. Once again, for those of you watching on YouTube, be sure to hit that thumbs up button, right? Consider subscribing if you are a new viewer. We got SOPA getting called out. That one might be squeezing up a little bit too. AVCT hitting 264. I can't remember where yesterday's levels were. Maybe it's actually not bad for a daily breakout. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we saw. Maybe 1931 would have been an entry. Watching for that push. We're holding. Here we go. I'm going to sell up there at 57. Can we continue to hold higher? Looks okay. I'm waiting for the next trade. It's holding 50. Good signs. But can we continue to hold the level? I'll be in at 22 and out at 62 for that scalp for the first 5-minute candle to make the new high. Of course, the candle is still like 30 seconds out at that time, but it'll be here in 10 seconds. So if we hold up over 25, let's say, it should happen. Break of 21. Of course, I could still be holding this trade, but you know, I'll look to get back in somewhere. There's the candle. Are we going to see it? The break of 21. I'm long. Can we see that push through 50? And the rip to the upside. Not seeing the explosion. It needed to just boost through like 2080 right there, so I'll have to get back in again. Maybe it happens in the next candle, which will be 20 seconds. So I'll be watching 57 for an entry. 15 seconds. There's 57, but where we see more buyers here. Watching. Waiting. Waiting for volume. Back in 54. Can we see it? And there's a good push, and I'll sell over the whole dollar, so not bad at all. We got a high of 21.45. See, today my timing on this one is going to be aligning properly. So now I'll wait for it to get back over 21 for the next entry. 21.45 for high of day. Like right now, the thought that's in my head is, do I reduce my share size to protect the profits? Because I know I could have a big loss of like 50 cents. Or do I just keep my share size high and keep pushing it, right? We need more volume, by the way, on the 5-minute candles. The volume seems to be decreasing, which is not really a good sign. So if this red candle can hold up, once we curl back up, we need more volume. If not, short sellers might start to pay attention to that and get aggressive. Nice one. Thanks. $21.45 for high of day. Waiting patiently. If this pulls back hard, we do have a bit of a wick that we would need to take note of, so we'll see. This entry right here at 9:48, I usually would watch. I watched, like, let's say 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, I was watching in this entry right here for the red to green, but I don't know why I was so fixated on the stock pulling all the way back. So I didn't kind of like realize I should have been long down there. So the entry would have been 1931 for a move back to the upside. So probably could have gotten something in there and then could have came back out. Thinkorswim giving a delay on fills. So Christopher, we definitely got to be careful, man. Anybody using Thinkorswim, E-Trade Pro, you know, some of the free ones, we got to be careful. We got to watch out because sometimes our fills are just not going to be as good as we would want them to be. The brokers are slower than the ones with the direct access routing, you know. Lightspeed, Cobra Trading, the Dash platform. So we are at a bit of a disadvantage in that sense. So over 2075, if it holds, could be worth watching if volume is back in. Maybe the candle gives one last hurrah. Well, 41 actually the entry here. So can we break and hold above 50 for an entry here? But we need high volume, if not, no trade. It's hanging around. What does it want to do? Are we going to pull back or are we going to go? So watching for 2050 for an entry if its volume is high and we can hold above 50. If not, probably might pull back some more. So there's a new 5-minute candle. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What is it going to be? 619 saying it'll dump to 16 or 18. We will see. I think if the volume is light when it comes down, I probably reduce my share size a little bit and watch that trade off the lows. If volume isn't too high, volume is really high, and just it does pull back to 18, I think I leave it. Wild boy, I agree, man. To be a day trader, it's a different ball game. It's not easy. It never was. It never will be. You know, it's like I made $1,000 just now, and it's like I can't even really be excited about it, or else, you know, I probably get too overconfident and then take a bad trade. It's like you just gotta stay in the Goldilocks zone. You can't be too high. You can't be too low. You just gotta be, you know, you kind of gotta just be neutral at all times and just stay clear-minded and continue looking for the next A quality setup. KNDI, RELI, SPRB, not much. ISIG. I do know to myself that if I start to use 1,000 shares minimum on stocks at like $8 to $20, I will make more money because I'm more green than red, right? And so it's like I'll have bigger red days whenever I do, you know, kind of mess up on the trades. But when I'm connecting, I'll be able to make a lot of money fast with the bigger size. We go back 4 months ago, I would only use 200 to 300 shares on this kind of a stock. So, you know, I'll keep pushing it, but eventually I'll need a new broker because this broker isn't going to be able to handle the share size. The slippage will eat me alive. So here we are, we're coming down. Volume is light, so I'm actually liking it here. This is where I reduce my share size. I think, let's say I risk 30 cents, 600 shares. If we get a gradual pullback, high of 78. $619, wish he had locate. The volume profile's been decreasing. Like, you got to be careful with the decreasing volume profile to make sure we're not just going to like dwindle down and sell off. TOS, I'm not using the same button to buy and sell. I'm buying with my hotkeys and I'm selling with my mouse. So I never will hover over buy. I'll use my hotkeys Shift Z. Shift Z will get me into the trade, and then I'll sell with the mouse. So it seems like I'm just buying and selling with the mouse, but you know, if you look in the upper right hand corner of the screen, you see this gray symbol up here that says hotkey setup. Whenever I hit Shift, right? Whenever I press Shift, this appears, and so if I hit Shift X, Shift Z, like I have some hotkeys set up. Shift Z is to get me in on the market. However many shares is in my active trader window. So like right now, if I hit Shift Z, 600 shares will go through at the market price, whatever that price may be. Wild boy wanting to trade from all over the world. It's the dream. I definitely hear you, man. Being a traveling trader, a bit of a nomad trader for at least a year, for me, I feel like it's something that I wouldn't mind doing. I think it'll be a lot of fun to go experience some different cultures, try some different food. It's just it'll just be so different. For me being a foreigner, like I'm from South America, I'm Guyanese. Even just coming to America, it's just such a difference. And so, you go to somewhere like Japan, London, you check out some of these other places, Russia. So ISIG, we're pulling back. Is day trading profitable? How much am I making monthly? Um, my daily gains, my average daily gains is $188 per day. So between all my winners, big green days, big small red days, everything averages out to $188 per day as of right now. Yeah, Guyana, South America. But I might as well say I'm Caribbean because the Guyanese people don't really, you know, they kind of more associate with the islands, even though we're not an island. Everybody else speaks Spanish or Portuguese. We're the only English speaking country on the continent, so 619, let's keep it clean, man. Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it clean, bro. No need to bash anybody for their trading style or strategy. That message isn't going to show, but I can see it. All right. Um, so I'm watching. We're pulling back, but we'll see. We gotta always ask the question: is the stock, if it pulls back to the lows right here, is it good or is it pulled back too much? I don't like when these stocks pull back from high of day levels, and it is doing that. The volume profile would say is not bad, but I think it's a little questionable. Maybe I leave the trade off the lows here alone, or if I do take it, maybe just 300 shares. I probably reduce the half size. Where did I learn? Um, I learned from YouTube. Watched a lot of different traders, primarily Ross. Some of the other ones would include a little bit of Tim Sykes. Beginner Trader. I'm not sure if you guys know who Beginner Trader is, but I like his stuff. Trades with small size, but like really good. Like just when it comes to discipline, a lot of the general stuff, what you should be doing, it's really good. Patrick. Some of you. I mean, a lot of you should be familiar with Patrick. I know something that came out with him like trading in the sim or something, but I didn't care. I thought he was pretty good. I was trading in the sim anyways. Um, like a lot of trading, like the person that you watch, even if they're not profitable, like it's more to trading than that. Like, when we talk about the general things that you need to hear as a beginner. As a beginner, there's certain things that you need to hear that some people wouldn't really tell you. So anybody who can really keep it real about the market, like let you know how hard it is, how unlikely, like when we talk about emotions, discipline, like a lot of us as human beings, like it's hard for us to just to do what we know is the right thing to do. It's just so hard to do, and to be able to do it every day without fail, it's near impossible because as humans we just make mistakes over and over. And so it's something that's definitely hard. So when those guys keep it real, I like it. But when it comes to style strategy, definitely learned a lot from Ross. But I also had to go through the screen time of trial and error, like most people do. There's only a few people who really just get it right away. I mean, even I'm amazed at those people because here I am 4 years in, right? So had to put in the screen time. Never took any courses from anybody, right? Not Ross, not anybody else. Never took a course. So just had to put my own twist on what I was seeing that I liked, and from there Just try to improve. Not every day is going to be a green day or a good day, but as long as I'm following the rules, red or green, I can live with the results. Yeah, a lot of us will think we can get it right away, but it's just a marathon. It takes time. Yeah, you got to find what works for you, and from there, you kind of narrow it down. Screen time, practice, practice, practice. Really hone in on what it is that you're doing in terms of strategy, and then you start to make progress over the time, right? Hold on, guys. My nose once again is getting a little stuffy. Let me grab some paper towel here. So give me 20 seconds. The crescent moon, learning from Relentless. I appreciate it, man. So, I guess in a lot of ways, I will eventually, or not even eventually, but I guess I already am a teacher in a lot of ways, right? 100% free for a very long, long time. So free is key here. So definitely hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing, right? We'll get back on the topic here, ISIG. So give me 20 seconds. Let me grab some tissue really quickly. I'll be back. How come I don't use the 9 EMA? I just felt like it wasn't. I don't know if like for me, I know it's useful. It's definitely useful for a lot of people, like the 9 to 20 to 21. But I have them on my E-Trade charting. I don't have them on my Thinkorswim. I only have VWAP. But for me, a lot of how I trade, like you guys will see it. We had a couple of days where I'm trading, I think SOPA, where I'm just buying too soon and the breakout is happening on the next candle. It's part of my strategy. Like I'm not gonna catch all of them, but I have good intuition of where the moves should happen. You know, it's not 100% accurate because if I was, I'd have been really, really rich already. Speaking of SOPA, just hitting the scans, first daily candle at 1550 to make the new high. So SOPA. SOPA is moving. Can we start to hold above 30 on the bids for an entry? Oh, the spreads are kind of big, so I'm holding off on the trade. We got to make sure we get good buyers. Yeah, the spreads are, so it's looking just like ISIG. So I can't rush into a trade. Once the spreads are big, it's a nightmare to scalp because I can be in at 40, 50. Yeah, we can go to a high of like 17, but once the bids start to have some trouble, we come down fast and it's a big loss. Yeah, so ISIG, we're curling up. Back over 2025 is where I'm interested. With volume, of course. SOPA short 1550 getting called out there by 619. LGVN also hitting the scan. So I guess Will's info has been correct so far. Seeing a lot of these stocks kind of just pumping up. ISIG. ISIG, I'll switch back over to this one. I've made some good money on this stock this year, man. back over 1945 could work. Let's see if volume is high right here. If it breaks 50 and holds above 50, I'll be long. Okay. Watching. 27 on the bids. I'll take 49. Will we see it? Not quite. I'll be out at 44 or so. I'll wait for break and hold at 50 maybe. There's 50 again. There we go. 69 can we hold? But 37 on the bids. 60 on the ask. Big spreads. So I'm waiting. It's fighting. Why are we going to see it? Pay attention for big bids too. If we get like a 100,000 share buyer here at 1950, it's definitely going to go. Maybe the first 1 minute candle to make the new high with more volume will do better. Oh, man. Kicking and elbowing everything here. I see saying ISIG is dead. We will see. The volume is decreasing, so far, you know, it's looking that way. It all depends on the volume. If volume spikes back in, you know, back to 20, maybe we start to, you know, get a good move. RELI, ISIG, SOPA. SOPA back down. Time 10:12 a.m. Still waiting for more A quality setups. BVXV no good. GRTX not much. KNDI not much. RELI decent pre-market, but so far into the open not showing good signs. SOPA we're back down, and SPRB not looking super good. The market will dictate the trades. Right, we'll see what happens. That's how it goes for me, right? We'll see. The volume has been dying off just slowly, steadily. Once again, for those people watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Right now we're at 111 likes. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button. First chance you get if you're not actively trading. If you are actively trading and you're a real MVP, you know, still go ahead and do it if you can. And of course, you know, the like goal today, can we get up to 250 likes? It's the #1 way to support the channel. As you guys know, community building is one of the goals here. PHUN getting called out. Community building is one of the goals, right? Can we continue to grow one trader at a time, one day at a time? We got BBIO hitting the scans, BBIO, and possibly over 13.15 could give a move. This one I'll be watching here. I'll have 800 shares at the ready. BBIO is one of these setups that we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, right? Where we have stocks from all-time lows give moves. So BBIO, we'll see if volume is high on this one. Right now, high of days at 1290. 1315 is the level I'm watching to see if we start some gap fill. Seems like with selling pressure, I'll take a 10-cent loss if it comes down, which is good. Spread seems to be tight once we're seeing red. I do have a slight headache, right? Ken, loving the channel. I appreciate it. Setting up a scanner. If you're using eTrade Pro, there's a video out. There's a video out. Which playlist is it? It should be in the stock related playlist, right? But for Thinkorswim, I haven't done one yet. I was supposed to already. I gotta push myself, man. Whenever I'm done with the YouTube videos, it's usually around like 6. Like, what I try to do is trade till 4. Like, even when I'm gone, like even when I'm done streaming, I want to be here in case more momentum comes. And so from 4 to 6 is where I kind of do YouTube. 1290. It sometimes you feel a little tired because trading is sometimes mentally draining. It's like you're concentrating so hard for so long. Like, we're not really doing any physical labor, but it's like you kind of feel exhausted when you're done. I don't know if you guys feel like that too, but there's a lot of days where it's like you're just kind of exhausted. So when I do the recap, I'm kind of like, okay, I definitely need a break. 1290 the highest. Still watching BBIO here. I think this one has potential, but I need to check the float, by the way, which I didn't do. 147. Let me double check this float before I get myself in trouble here. If it's too high, it's not going to make sense. 70 million. Volume might not make sense, so I'll leave this one alone for now. But 1315 is a level I'll still watch if volume is high enough. ISIG still sideways. SOPA, well, SOPA is curling back up here, maybe over 1543. SOPA could give a move, but volume is light. It'll be hard to capture. It'll be tricky. But we are curling up a little bit. Volume is just too light, so I wouldn't attempt it, but it could work. Entry of 1544 for a push to, let's say, 1590. Volume is too light, though. RELI. We're getting a call out in the Discord that RELI can go up to 8, but we'll see. Can we get back to the VWAP first, and then can we retake 710? VWAP at 687. Today is Tuesday. 10:19 a.m. Things are a little slow. Sometimes it feels like I'm just, sometimes it feels like me showing up here to trade every day is another day that I'm writing in like a journal or like a diary or something. It's like, day 20, day 200, well, I don't even know, day 800 or something, day 800. Watching stock ISIG, will it curl back up? You know, almost like a survival show or something. What will it be today, right? In the next hour, will we see something else that comes along and gives more A quality setups? If it gets back over 1970 with high volume, I think it still looks good. I know some of you think it'll sell off, but we'll see. But it all depends on volume. If volume isn't there, we're not going to see much. We got to be careful as to like what kind of callouts we ask for, right? Because nobody knows, right? Not even me, not Ross, not Tim Sykes. Nobody really knows. So you got to be careful, right? We kind of go off of our intuition from what we've been seeing happening over the years. But, you know, if someone gives you the word, or let's say the okay, like, hey, I think it's going to go here or there, you got to take it with a grain of salt because, you know, at the end of the day, no one knows, right? Not unless you have a time machine. I had a time machine, I would have been the best trader of all time already. Without fail. No losing trades. Maybe I put a losing trade intentionally just, you know, so people don't start investigating me. Because it probably would get crazy. You get to 100% accuracy. Your brokers, if people will start to notice, it's like, we got this guy that doesn't even lose. He's trading every kind of strategy, every kind of style. He knows when to sell, when to buy, when to go short, when to go long. Give me blue skies. The blue sky setup, we'll see. Been running for days. I'm looking at some of the comments here. I still think ISIG has a chance. Will, thanks. I saw your message there. If you're watching on. So ISIG once again at 1970. I will be watching if volume is high. Darnell, thanks for the post there. Guys, check out the Discord. Alright, check out the Discord. It's 100% free and it's where the conversation will continue after I'm done trading, right? I'll be in there. And you know, for anybody who actually want to talk to me one-on-one, we can, right? Whether through direct messaging or voice channels. If I'm here, that's the kind of thing I don't mind doing. You know, every now and again, a group of us will get in there. You know, let's say 5, 6 of us maybe. We'll kind of talk strategy, see how each other are doing, and you know, that kind of a thing. Man, oh man. Time 10:24 a.m. Do not underestimate this ISIG. We'll see what it's able to do. Resistance though was around 21.38. So the thing is, when the daily charts are like this, we're not as clean as we might want to be. Watching it at 1970 once again. As long as volume is high, I don't mind giving it a chance. I'll reduce my size a little bit. Let's do 500 shares. waiting, watching. It all comes down to the volume. Eventually what I'll do with this channel, maybe into this new year, I do I do plan on bringing on people, a lot of you guys, right? Those of you who wouldn't mind. Maybe we talk a little bit about your styles, right? So maybe we have somebody come on and talk a little bit about some options. We kind of have like some small courses in a sense. Maybe we just get, where we kind of I'll pick some of you guys' brain when it comes to just strategy, style, what you're looking for. I'll come prepared, right? Uh, have some nice questions. We bring on a few of you guys. The thing is for me is that sometimes there's just one thing you need to learn. It's sometimes small, right? There's maybe one thing. Maybe we have 5 people come on, and even if it's just one piece of information that we can get, because there's some of you who are millionaire traders, right? Confirmed that I know that are here in the community. So, we have traders of all, sides of the spectrums, beginners, intermediate, like grandmaster traders. Some of you guys are just killing it. Thousands and thousands of dollars every day. It's crazy. So it's always good to keep learning, right? ISIG, once again, still a little sideways. GRTX, BVXV, BVIO. Still watching, still waiting. Time 10:28 a.m. It's trading, man. I still know that the better days are yet to come. Like the horizon, like I could see on the horizon like what it'll be, and it's always this way for me. Like even before I was making money or in the sim, it's like I feel like I can always look ahead and see if I continue to keep working on this style, what is likely to come, likely to happen. And we will get more days of stocks like ADGI, SOPA, ISIG, and I'll be more prepared, bigger size, and once things are aligning properly, maybe we have some $3,000-$4,000 days, right? I think it's possible. AB, the 8 call for RELI could be valid for the day. Yeah, we definitely can't, wild boy, we definitely can't be too aggressive if it's not, if anything is not moving. We gotta just be patient, continue to wait. So ISIG, there's some green coming in here. Man, I feel kind of crazy. Let's see, low, a bit of a slight headache, right? Low of the last is 1880. High of the current candle is 1950. Looks pretty good. Can we get over 1970? If volume is high, I think it's not bad. I'll continue to wait patiently. We've been bottoming out, right? We got higher lows in this range, really. So we're getting tighter into this wedge. Will we eventually squeeze up or down? Which way will it be? So maybe in another 5 minutes, we will know for sure. What will it be? Macy's? Is M for Macy's? I think so, right? Macy's is moving up. Let me double check though, if it actually is Macy's. Yeah, so Macy's is moving up. For any of you who might be interested. Freedom Trader, what's up, man? CPOP. I'll take a look at it. Okay, all right, it's up 39%. There's volume, and of course I'm now seeing it on my one of my scans here. Not the high of day scan, but it's on the other scan. It gave a good trade off the lows right here. It gave a good trade off the lows, not bad. CPOP. Add this one to the list for the time being. Good. So CPOP, if I'm to look at this one now and ask myself where's a good area. It's cheap, so you guys know I don't want to trade. I do not want to scalp or trade the highs. So when we talk about trades off the lows, I mean this level here, 214, was really good. Came down nicely, held it really well, and from a low of 9 we had a high of 52, so that's an excellent move. Would have had to hold through for the push as usual, but heads up, BBIO is back at 13. 13.15 at high volume is an area I don't mind if we see enough buyers. If not, I wouldn't bother because the float is a little higher. Do I only go long? What's my average daily goal? Lawrence is asking. So I only go long. But I feel like I could go short if I had shares. I think I would be decent. I think I'd be profitable going short because there's a lot of stocks where I kind of notice the backside, and it's like I'm no longer interested in taking trades to the long, to the upside, and so I feel like those areas are usually good. It's like if we do look at a stock like ISIG, for me this one would be perfect if it gives a false breakout at if this comes up to 1980, 1990. And it's like a false breakout. It looks really good right here. Some people probably are short already higher up around $20, but this wouldn't be a bad area still because we know that drop down to like 17, 16 could happen. So here it goes. Here's 1993. So let's see if this works or not. I'm a little late. Which isn't good. There's 2020, 85. 155. I'm late, so I'm not sure if I missed other entries or not, but I'm using eTrade Pro and Thinkorswim. eTrade Pro on the left hand side, Thinkorswim on the right. If volume is high, the short sellers will get caught here. And we can see another push, but I still want to see more buyers. We have 450,000 shares, which is not a bad start. First 1 minute candle to make the new high be 2010. High of the move is 2020. Here we go. Here we go. It's starting to open up here. I'm going to miss some of the earlier trades, but it is fighting here. It's fighting. This is where the short sellers start to get in trouble here. Oh, I'm going to take a little too long. I tried to get 50 for the dip, but I'm a little slow. I needed 50 there. This is going to throw off my risk in this trade. Alright, I'll sell it up at 90 something. But I really wanted 50 right there. If I had 50, I would have been able to hold it longer to see if it's going to break out here. Let's see, can we break and hold above 14 on the bids? If we do, I want to be long again. There's 15, 16. Can we start to hold on the bids now? Not convincing, so I'm waiting. Maybe we need some consolidation. Time 10:38, so still watching, still waiting. You can't ever count these stocks out, man. You just gotta watch and try to react real time. Anything can happen, always, right? So you gotta have that mentality, and I think for me it'll be key to not underperform on days where we do have a hot stock in a slower market. Just gotta keep an open mind and always just look to react real time to volume, because volume will always be the key as to if the move is going to work or not, right? So we're going to get a pretty big green candle here. About 1.8 million shares so far. I do like the first 1 minute candle to make the new high at 2060. If we can find a good bottom. So watching and waiting 15 seconds to the new candle. There's some green. Are we going to see it? Okay. I'll be back out. Well, there's 53. But are we going to see the volume spike into the new candle here? If not, we might need more consolidation. $19, $12, $13. I still like it over 60 if volume can be high. It's holding in the next 20 seconds here. There's a few buyers. There's the new candle on the 1. Watching for 60. Okay. I'm in at 39. Are we going to see it? What's it going to be? Up or down? You're not quite seeing the push, so I'm, back out again. It's like I'm expecting a volume spike, so if it's not going right away, it's like I'm kind of back out. I'll always try to get back in. So it looks like we need more consolidation. I'd expect this 5-minute candle to have a bottoming wick, but we'll see. Vig, good question. Would I be able to make more? BBIO, by the way. Is it? Oh, no, never mind. It's CPOP. CPOP hitting high of day. Would I make more money if I stay in the trades longer and add instead of scalping in and out? Possibly. But I do have the trades off the lows to help me with that, right? When we talk about scaling in a trade, scaling out, the trades off the lows, just eventually to get up with more size. Ross is changing diapers. You gotta do what you gotta do. Lawrence, I didn't answer the question. What was the question, man? Let me know. So when I'm trading, I kind of, do you go long or short? And what's my average daily goal? Okay, so I go long primarily. Don't go short because I don't have shares here at Thinkorswim, but I would love the chance to. And on top of that, for the second question, I don't have a daily goal. My only goal is to try and do better than I did the previous day and try and let that compound. When I do my recaps, I see things where I need to improve upon, and from there, I kind of look to be better. But my average, right, what I average is about $188 per day. That's my average, but it's not my goal, right? I don't do monthly goals, daily goals. Wherever I end up, I end up. But what I try to do is trade my best every day. Can my best trading give me 5,000 in a month? 10,000, 15, 20,000? Right? I'd love to be able to average, a high amount. CPOP. So CPOP, we are going to get a bit of a false breakout though, which isn't good. And ISIT seems like it might be finished. It's pulling back too much right here. A good red to green initially, but, not quite. And this is going to be another situation where the first 1-minute candle to make a new high after the breakout is not going to work. It's my third time seeing it over these last couple of days. Yeah, you can definitely get into over trading with Thinkorswim, and it happens to me. It happens to me every now and again. It's like you just got to remind yourself, like, hey, quality over quantity. Quality trades is the way to go. Average number of trades per day. I guess I could check TraderView and divide the number, by the amount of trading days that we've had. But I don't know the exact number off the top. My daily volume, though, is around like 30,000 shares right now. Once again, CPOP gave a false breakout, which is not good. My best month was last July. Going live, 7,000. In the sim, December of 2019, I think 7,900 or something close to 8,000. Will I be able to have better months? I think so, but you really got to be sound every day, man. You got to really be sound. Sometimes I let some really good opportunities go by, or maybe I missed trades, or I just didn't do well. It's just so hard, so I try not to beat myself up too much if things don't go quite according to plan. SOPA curling up. Yeah, in the sim, I used to trade in the sim up until May 1st of last year. Is when I had my account ready to go live. I include the sim in terms of like what I did, because what I do now is not that much different. Maybe it's more refined, yeah, but that's where I started building the strategy and that kind of thing. So in fact, my total gains from the sim, despite a lot of the red days that I had, $20,000 somewhere there, which is pretty solid, right? So green in the sim before coming live, and now green live and doing all right. So looking to keep on growing, right? That's the goal. And I know all of you, right? We're looking to just keep it pushing, keep progressing, keep learning. Whether we're in the sim, small account, big account, the goal is the same: to be better. Sim doesn't teach psychology. The example that I'll use, I think last time when I was about to say it a few days ago, I got cut off with a stock moving, is that for pilots, they'll do flight simulations, artificial cockpit, artificial instruments, computers, whatnot, and the goal is still the same goal, which is to, of course, be able to fly the plane, perform well, under stress, perform well during treacherous weather conditions, to perform well when the day is clear, when the sky is blue, to perform well, to be prepared for certain situations. If you're flying and a bird goes through one of the engines, there's certain protocols, certain things that you have to do, and that's my best way of explaining it. Is that with a pilot uh, training in a simulation, at the end of the day, their lives are at stake, their jobs are at stake, their passengers' lives are at stake. And so it's up to them to treat it as real as possible, as serious as possible, and to try and find ways to make it make sense, right? How can you make it make sense? For me, that's what I had to do, because at the time, I had no choice but to go to the simulation. So you got to make it make sense. I had a hard time in the first couple of weeks with treating it real, but I had to like meditate. I had to get my mind in gear, because it's like that's my only option at the time, and it's now or never. Go big or go home. You're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. So it's like you got to figure something out to get your mind in that state where you can make it make sense, right? Can it become real to you? And I think what did help me was trading live before going to the sim, I was trading on E-Trade below the PDT, and then I had went to the sim. So I knew what it was like to lose money. And in the sim, it's like it ended up carrying over. It's like, I feel the same type of way on a red day, because at the end of the day, a lot of it is the fundamentals. Why did I hold that losing trade so long in the sim or real life? Like, there's no difference between, and it's like, this is why looking, like, you have to look past the money aspect of it. It's like, what is the difference between holding a bad trade too long in real life or in the sim? It's like, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's a terrible trade regardless, right? It's a terrible trade, and it's like, you kind of look past the money aspect, and you look at the fundamentals of the strategies. Did I do the right thing? Hey, I'm looking for a trade off the lows. It's down $1 a share. If I'm in the sim, why would I want to practice bad habits? Like, I know going live, if I am live, whether, big account, small account, the right thing to do is to cut the loss. And so in the sim, the right thing to do is cut the loss. So you kind of look past the money aspect, and you kind of just focus on the fundamentals of your style and your strategy, and making sure that you have those good habits in place. Can you have enough good habits to have your P&L reflect green, right? Can you follow the strategy, follow your rules that you'll have for yourself well enough to have your P&L reflect green? And so, once you can get a hang of the emotional side of it, right? We talk about the psychology, right? The mental. You come live, and the transition can be seamless, right? In fact, when I came live, despite me putting out a video showing my account balance and all of that stuff, like, I had a video out where I showed everything, like, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is where I'm starting, and people still didn't even know for weeks, months. I mean, I still have people now. I still have messages now. Hey, RT, I'm checking in on you after a few months. Are you still in the sim? So the transition could be seamless, but it's definitely not easy, right? I'm not saying that it's easy. I don't want to sound like I'm oversimplifying it, but for me, you have to do what's required. You have to do what's necessary, whatever is needed. Especially if you don't have an option, whatever is needed is what you have to find a way to have it done. Because in a lot of ways too, we are competing against each other in some sense, and so you know you gotta. It's like, if you're a competitive person, you also gotta think like, man, I'm in this classroom full of people. It's millions, depending on what the scale of it. It's millions, right? Millions, tens of thousands, hundreds. Maybe a couple hundred people. You look to your right, you look to your left. You tell each other, hey, only 1 out of 10 of us is gonna make it. You know, are you gonna be the one to go above and beyond to try and ensure success no matter what, right? And so, whatever is necessary is whatever needs to be done. Not, once again, to oversimplify it, but you got to find some sort of a way, right? And each of us have unique situations. So personal life, financial situations. So it's different for, like, everybody have a different demon in a sense that they have to conquer. Like, what is your demon? What is mine? And when we get to the point where we can say we have our demon in chains, in the basement, never to come back up to the surface. So to wrap it up there, we got to do what we got to do. But for me, and it's like, now, if I go back to the on-demand future, Thinkorswim has a feature where I can go back and trade any day, right? It's like, even if I go back on a day where I want to see how the trade could have worked out if I held longer and I try to take the same trade again, or maybe I go back and I try to take a different trade off the low. Like, you got to be honest enough to not cheat yourself. Like, you wouldn't do things that you wouldn't do otherwise, right? It's like, hey, if you're taking 500 shares on this stock, it's 500 shares you take. Why would I go into sim and take 10 million shares or 20,000 shares? Like, unless I'm trying to see how much, if I scale to that level, the money would look like, the losses and the wins. But we got to do everything with honesty and know that, when it comes to the strategy, we try and perfect the strategy. When you trade in the sim is exactly how you should feel when you trade live. Emotionless, right? Can you feel, can you be in that Goldilocks zone, right? You're not too high, you're not too low, but you're just in the middle where you're balanced and centered. So, that's how it kind of goes. But we got to push, right? It's not easy. It never is. It never will be. But if we keep pushing, we can definitely improve, right? And that's all that matters. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes improvements, right? So as long as we continue to improve, that's all that matters. Small progress, slow and steady gains. Slow and steady. So if things are slowing down, we're not really seeing much. I do have a bit of a slight headache. I might head out of here. It's 10:56. For those of you, we got about 300 people in the building. Guys, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. Once again, can we get up there to 250 likes, right? Be sure to hit the thumbs up button. It's the number one way to support the channel. Keeping it green, which is good today. But above all else, I'm transparent, right? Red trades, green trades, break even, high in the red, high in the green. As long as I'm streaming, everything will be there. And I'll do a recap at the end of the day to update you guys if I took any more trades. If something is not in the recap, it'll be in the monthly recap, which will be out at the end of the month, right? So you guys will see everything. We're in this journey, man. We just got to keep pushing, keep getting better. And once again, my nose is getting a little stuffy, so I'll go to the white screen, to the logo screen, and grab some more paper towel here. Yeah. There we go. It happens. Matthew, you're in a red streak and you're having some doubts. I think every trader would lie if they say at some point they didn't have a little bit of doubt. And we hear the statistics, and it's like you're trading, you're having a hard time, you're red, but in those moments, those are the times where we got to dig deep, man. When it's going green, it's going good. It's like, you don't really have to like, feel that type of squeeze, that type of pressure, that type of emotion, those thoughts, they're not coming in your head. But when you're red for a few days, maybe a few weeks, a few months, it definitely starts to take a toll. And which is why even doing YouTube is not really easy. It's like I know I'm a good trader. Most of you guys, well, if not all of you, right? All of us will know that we can do this thing. But it starts to eat away at your psyche. When it's not going good, it could affect your personal life. It could affect your mood on the day. It's hard to detach sometimes from this field. And like we go back to that week where I had one green day, and it's like, that week I'm not fully mentally sound. I probably shouldn't have been trading, really. Just had something weighing on my mind, and it was obviously affecting me. Like poor trades, just not good enough, right? It was at least, I would say I'm lucky it was at least decent to the point where I wasn't big red, but you definitely need to be at 100%, man. It eats away at your psyche. You're red for a few months, few weeks. We go back to last year, October, I'm down 3,500. And it's like, oh my God, are you telling me I just made $7,000 in July and I can't even get a green day? It's the question starts to come into your head. What am I doing so wrong now that was different from what I was doing then? And that's kind of what gets at you too. It's like, you're a good trader. And I did fall victim to that. Me, relentless trader, can't have a green day. What did I do? Size up. I'm supposed to be using 300 shares. I size up to 1,000 shares, and it's like me versus the market. None of us are ever bigger than the market. We will always lose if we approach it in that way. You can't go against the market. You have to go with the market. You have to go with the tide. And so I wanted to prove to myself that, I am this trader who could have a green day after all of these red days. And so before you know it, it's a bunch of different type of pressure that's in your mind. It's sometimes difficult because, trading is a little bit of a lonely feel. Most of us is just us and our computer screens. There's no one to really go and talk to. Maybe some of you guys will have a spouse, depending on your situation. Maybe you talk to them about the green, red days. Depending on the situation, maybe some of you might not. You might keep it private. And so sometimes it eats away, but we got to dig deep above all else, right? We got to dig deep. We got to always remember who we are, what the mission is, what's the goal, the end goal, and understand that it's a journey. It takes a lot of time, years and years, to be able to be in that place where we can be consistently profitable, and then even pushing to that next level or next levels, right? So you fall back on who you are, man. You got to remind yourself that you're a fighter, and you got to open your eyes to the market, because at the end of the day, the market is telling a story, and we got to be able to read in between the lines. October of last year, I was trying to scalp aggressively, and scalping, it was just not the market for scalping. I needed to be buying lows. Back then, it's not in my arsenal, and so I keep scalping because that's the only thing I know. And I get red and red and red and red before I finally tell myself, okay, that's enough. We take a couple days. We come back, lower size, and we look to go slow, right? We start to come back down to that Goldilocks zone. You start to really remember your setup, exactly what you should look for, when to look for it. Because when we come out of a hot market, we get sloppy. You think everything is going to work. You're just sort of pushing forward, failing to remember that the cycles can change. And so you can fall victim to it. And that's why I kind of put so much emphasis on slowing it down when the market slows down, is because I do not want to have a $3,500 red month ever again. Can I have green months only? I think it's possible. Or at least, let's say, flat break-even months. If I am red, slightly in the red, not a big red month, So once you experience it, you keep putting things in place to try and, prevent yourself from getting back. And you keep going. Do I pay taxes? Yes, I do. This year will be interesting to see how it goes. How do I reset after a big red day? I mean, right now we're gonna do Q&A because there's nothing moving for me. I know some of you might want to see some more trading, but I don't see anything that's A quality. So how do I reset after a big red day? We'll go to about 11:30 and then we'll shut it down. After a big red day, I would say we had one Wednesday. I'm down $600. For me, the question is why, right? There's always a why. Why am I red today, right? And so I go through my recap. Why am I red today? Did I have terrible mistakes? Did I do something that I had no business doing? Did I have poor risk management? Did the trades just not work? Did I take a high risk in a halt trade and it just blazed me? Like, for me, that's the first thing I ask myself. How? Why? And so when I go through my red days, for me, if I dissect it and I see, hey, okay, I took some big size. I had more slippage than I expected. The stock had more range to the downside than I expected. It's like, for me, that's a mistake that I can't really beat myself up for. So I'm able to cope with it a lot more already. It could be the opposite though, right? And so let's say you had a red day. That's a big red day because you had some really bad mistakes. You did poor risk management. Those are the days where we have to learn. And each day, red or green, especially the red ones, we learn the biggest lessons. And so You got to remember each loss is a lesson learned, right? AERC, hitting the scans, AERC. So you go back, because it's all about progress, right? You go back, you see what you did wrong, and implement things so that in a similar situation next time, you can do better, have a better outcome, a better result. Maybe you opt not to take the trade, or you go in a smaller size, maybe the loss is not as big. There's always options, right, for different situations, different solutions. So we find something that works for us and our personality, and from there, to me, that's what it is for me. Like, I look forward to the challenge. It's like, all right, which is why sometimes I kind of over talk it. Like, you guys will see me some days get so kind of like worked up, because it's because I want that same situation to come again so bad, so that I can prove to myself that I could do better under the same exact circumstance. And the market will provide that same situation, whether tomorrow, next week, next month. So whenever it comes, you're prepared. You're better prepared to have a better outcome. And so for me, that's how I kind of cope with the bigger red days. It all comes back to progress, learning. How can I improve? Sometimes it'll dwell on you, how did I have such a bad mistake? But at the end, it's all about trying to find ways to become better. So improvements is what helped me to reset for the next red day, or the next, to just reset for the next day in general, to get my mind back in gear. Tax questions, I can't really be too specific about. Each of us have a different tax bracket depending on how much you're making. I think it starts above 8,000. 8,000, I'll have to go read it up. It's different brackets depending on, your end of year result. There's a lot of other things that affects taxes too. Whether you're filing personal under an LLC, there's a bunch of different things. What write-offs you might have. Do you do any other businesses? There's a lot of different things. Liabilities, debt plays a role sometimes. So there's a bunch of different things. For me, I'm still educating myself as I go. Reaching out, asking professional people the right questions. In fact, I gotta contact one of them soon, because there's something I want to do. But I need to make sure, of course, I have the green light if it's good to do. If not, I find another way. Austin, you got $1 share on AERC. Thanks for the call out. No problem, man. And way to hold it down for the stream with a really good trade. $1 share. Definitely is a really good trade, man. Solid. When I was first learning, how much time did I spend between the simulator and like actually watching videos? In the summer of 17, I was fortunate enough to be able to stay home the entire summer. At this point, I graduated from high school. Fortunate enough to stay home, and not have to worry about bills or anything like that. So I was able to trade, and study, let's say 10 hours a day, almost 7 days a week. Like it was crazy the amount of work I was putting in. Like, it's like, we talk about going to a job that's 8 hours, 10 hours long, and it's like I had the time, the situation was perfect, and so I dedicated that entire summer to just, the craft, charting, I mean, just everything. I would trade in the sim, I'd watch different recaps, different videos. Back then is when I actually was creating class 1 and class 2. Like, I started YouTube as well, kind of just, doing as much as I can to be able to catch up, because when I went from Robinhood to E-Trade Pro, it was a huge, huge difference. And it's like I kind of just threw myself into the deep side of the pool or the ocean, and it's like, hey, I got to get myself together, man, because this game is no joke. Like, I had Like I had like there's certain sensations that I remember that I just never would want again. Like I switched over to E-Trade Pro, but I wasn't completely familiar with the platform. I watched a lot of tutorials, that kind of a thing. But it's still a lot very new to me, and I'm trading. There's certain things I just didn't know yet. It's like I'm stuck in a position. It's like there's a sense of like of panic that I would have sometimes on the particular days where, and it might be for something simple, right? That I couldn't get out of the trade and didn't realize why. But all of that was part of it. You lose some money, you're paying your tuition to the market, and so you get better over time. But I spent a lot of time initially. Um, yeah, so Isaac, I went. My high school uh, offered college classes and a degree. Um, and there's even a college for it too. It's called Bard College, um, East Hudson, is it? Um, but I went to one of the high schools. Right, there's three locations: one in Newark, one in Queens of New York, one in Manhattan. And what it is, it's accelerated. So in the first 2 years of high school, you basically do 4 years of high school. You finish high school in 2 years, and then from your junior year, you start college classes, and so I graduated from there with a degree, associate's degree, right? 2 years. What is it, in science or something? I don't even know. I have to go check. But I graduated with a degree from there, and from there, believe it or not, I actually went to a county college versus an actual university right away. And it's a little ironic because you would go to a county college for, if you're not doing well, or if you're trying to get to that second stage before transferring. But I had went there because I wanted to study business, and the degree was primarily for what was it, man? Like basically, let's say English, right? It was basically for English, and so when I went to the county college, I was studying business classes only, and gaining credits to transfer after 1 semester, I think it was, transferred over to Rutgers University, and was studying accounting, and from there is where I ended up stopped going. As usual, you expect a lot of people in my family to not really understand, because who would? Here you have a guy that's averaging a 3.6 GPA. For those people who are like out of country, it's like straight A's basically, and he goes and leaves school. People who leave school are people who are having a hard time mostly, or maybe a specific situation. So, you know, um, so from there, I ended up leaving and starting to trade full time. Very, very daring thing to do. I wasn't profitable at the time. 619, come on, man. See, with me, I'm not a perfect person either. I've had to learn this. But I used to be very aggressive with my comments towards people. Like, very aggressive, early. And, I realized it was part of me just being immature, right? Like, the number one thing to do, like, it's like what they say, it's like if you don't have anything good to say, you don't say it at all, because at the end of the day, man, we don't have time for it, right? We're here trading, we're here to learn, we're here to make money, and nothing else, right? We're here to learn from each other. That's it, right? We're not really here to bash other people or to discriminate or any of that. So let's keep it clean, fellas. Let's keep it clean, ladies and gentlemen, right? Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it clean. I know some of you are a little bit more, you kind of voice your opinion a little bit more. To me, it's fine, but we gotta always watch what we say. Like even the comments, there will be like 619 will say a lot of comments about Ross. It's like for me, it's not a problem, but I could see some people being a little bit more defensive towards stuff like that. But we just gotta watch what we say, keep it clean, and we'll be good. Evan B asking for passive income ideas. I would say you got to look at your situation, right? Look at your time management. See how much time you might have between trading and school, and you create a schedule. Try and get a good schedule together, and then from there, you can see what window you might have, maybe for a part-time job. Um, depending on your location, you kind of look around. You look online, see what opportunities there might be available for you, and then from there, that's one recommendation I would say, right? And preferably a job where the pay is all right and the work isn't too demanding, because you don't want to be tired waking up for classes and trading again. JR, thanks man, I appreciate it. We gotta keep it real, man. We gotta keep it real, no matter what. We're getting closer to 11:30. Time is going. 11:17 a.m. It was a good day. You come in, you never know what to expect, man. You know, I'm here for the open, and it's like at 9:30. When I look back at 11:30, right? When 11:30 comes, and I look back, it's like at the beginning of every day, I'm always asking myself, so is today going to be a really good one? Is it going to be okay? Am I going to be red? It's like you kind of accept everything, but you try your best, right? And that's the key. Jody, definitely want to keep the discipline, right? You do not want to hit the buy button if you're not seeing any A quality setups. We're all trading different styles, different strategies, and this is one thing I usually say. Well, I sometimes say, I haven't been saying it as much recently, but we do want to be careful about FOMO here in the Discord or in the chat, right? In YouTube chat, because we got to remember everybody's in a different place and a different space when it comes to their experience and account size. So, if you see somebody with a $10,000 green day, more than likely it's relative to where that individual is. So we keep the discipline. We look for the next A quality setup. Right, we keep the discipline for as long as possible. So once again, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and consider subscribing if you are new to the channel. All right. Dagger, thanks, man. Love from India. Yeah, man, we're gonna keep pushing, man. Every day we're gonna keep pushing. Thoughts on GRTX? GRTX, I had it on watch over the last 2 days for continuation, but this kind of stock needs breaking news, and we haven't had that yet. So it's looking a little shaky. Volume is light. I think it was not bad for a swing trade though. If we go back to let's say the 22nd, we did bottom out nicely into pre-market, and then from there we curled up. But we'll see if it continues going. I think breaking news is going to be the biggest thing for this one. There's some gap fill on the daily chart, but we'll see if it gets up to these levels. 587 is the next area, and then above that 635. So can we hold key levels and continue making our way back up? 473 is kind of the area that I would have wanted to see it hold, but we did make a low of 435. So can we keep holding and curl back to the upside? Pen, yes, man, all the time. A few months ago, though, I was more tunnel, like I had more of a tunnel vision, and one of you guys actually, are responsible for me kind of coming out of the shell a little bit faster than I think I would have otherwise. It's, we talk and it's like, hey, you got to start looking at these trades off the lows, man. It can work out for you. And so, big shout out to my guy Troy. I'm not sure if he's watching in, but So I love the feedback, man. A lot of you guys giving some good feedback, almost all the time. So I watch the comments sometimes, on some of the videos. Well, most of them. Let's say most of them, right? I have to catch up for these last 2 days. I've been a little slacking off a little bit, but I do want to be able to go short eventually. I'm not going to rush the process though, but I want to be able to go short. So if I can be good with scalping, be good with trades off the lows, and then be able to short stocks pretty well. Let's say, can I be able to short stocks at the highs and the lows? And then from there, maybe we even talk about some options, right? And so over the years, I can become more versed slowly and steadily and have a lot of options on the table as to what I want to do in each market condition. Maybe I even start to trade some large caps, right? It's like at that point, it'll be hard to have red days because you can go, if one area is slow, you can go to the other and the other. And if you have a long list of things you can do, if your arsenal is vast, your repertoire is big, right? You can, as they say, go into your bag and pull something out of your sleeves, right? Depending on the market conditions. But it's 11:22. I'm gonna shut it down here. Can we get up there to 200 likes? Is it possible to get up there to 200 likes? The goal, I think, was 250. Can we see 200 likes before I head out of here? Definitely a good green day, right? We'll be back. We'll be back tomorrow. We will be back tomorrow looking for more opportunities. APT, well, not looking super good. So for those of you who will go the distance, continue to trade smart. Continue to trade setups. Take it easy. Stay safe. Stay green. Don't force any trades, right? Discipline is key. Once again, if you're watching on YouTube, thanks for the support, right? For all of those who've been engaging in the comment section and everything. I do appreciate it, right? So, D-Biz, Jordy, Hammer, Adam, Matthew, Steve, the list goes on and on. Hesse, Sean, Wild Boy, Tim, 619, Isaac, Aim, Izzy. Alright, take it easy, guys. Stay safe, stay green. Tomorrow we'll be back once again, hopefully for an even better day of momentum in the markets. So it was an efficient day. I'll take it, right? So I'll shut it down and we'll see what happens. So it's been Relentless Trader, and I am, of course, signing out.